You should help her. Unfortunately, common sense is usually not that common. And you can see that in this particular person. You know, you have a lot of people like this who are not that bright. So, yeah. So, as you can see from the picture here, this is basically crude oil. So, crude oil, you know, that comes from the earth, as you sure hope well know. So, you have on the bottom gasoline. Then you have the other fluids that come from the crude oil. You have jet fuel, you have diesel fuel that comes from the crude oil. So all these other liquids come from the crude oil. And considering the gasoline comes from maybe not the very bottom, but from the bottom of these levels of fluid, you would think that the fluid would be, or I should say gasoline would be cheaper at the pump, but it's not. And between America and I would say England, those are two countries I see the gasoline is so expensive, and I don't know why. I mean, when I was in Guyana in 2003, I believe it is, or 4, at that time it was like $1 and change. What I remember for gasoline. Now I know that Venezuela is their next door neighbor, but yeah, it was much cheaper. You got Colombia. Colombia's fuel is cheap too. When I was there in 2018, when I'm mistaken, their fuel wasn't that bad. I mean, you can just pick just different countries around the world, and their fuel is just so much more cheaper than ours. When I ask certain people who are in the positions to know why, the answer I get is, well, the reason why it's so expensive is because of the additives they gotta put into the fuel. Okay, so are you telling me that these other countries don't put additives in their fuel? Is that why their fuel is so much more cheaper than ours? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, Guyana's fuel is cheaper, Colombia's fuel is cheaper, Bolivia, their fuel is cheaper. I mean, I could just sit here all day naming countries who have cheaper fuel than America. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. It actually aggravates me and it frustrates me, you know? Because we're supposed to be like the country to come to. But yeah, our gas is shit. I mean, like, look at California. What are they paying, like $10, $12 a gallon or something like that in California? I mean, it's absolutely absurd, man. That's just craziness, man. Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, maybe if you guys watch this video, you guys have questions or maybe answers for me where we can converse on why the fuel is so high. Shoot me a message and maybe we can talk about it. But, however, anyway, let's get back into this video. So I will talk about a few cars, or I should say a few vehicles, that are better on fuel and better on gas than your vehicle you're driving now, or maybe you're in the market for actually buying a vehicle that's better on fuel, considering how the fuel prices are going so high. Now, I am not an advocate for electric cars. You can look at one of my videos and you can see I think electric cars are a bad option because of all the risks that are involved with owning one. But we're not going to touch on that. I've already did a video on that. You can always go and watch that. So without further ado, let's get into the vehicles that I think are a viable candidate for consumers to buy that gets good fuel economy. So this particular car is a 2003 Acura Integra. It gets 33 miles to the gallon. So the Acura Integra basically is a fancy version of the Honda Civic, basically. And if you want something like a Honda Civic, but don't want a Honda Civic, but something nicer than a Honda Civic, the Acura Integra basically is a very, very good option that you can look into. So your next option would be your 2002 and 2003 Volkswagen Jetta, which gets about 35 miles to the gallon on fuel. So this next car that you're looking at is a 2002 to 2003 Honda Civic. It gets about 36 miles to the gallon. So this car that you're looking at is a Hyundai Elantra, not Honda, but Hyundai Elantra, and it gets about 37 miles to the gallon. So this car is a Mitsubishi Mirage, 2003 Mitsubishi Mirage, and this gets about 39 miles to the gallon. That's almost 40 miles to the gallon. I mean, yes, it's a small car, but hey, for a car that gets almost 40 miles to the gallon, you really can't beat it, man. These next set of cars I'll be talking about will be diesel-powered cars. So the first one I'll be talking about would be the Volkswagen Golf, which gets between 39 miles per gallon to 55 miles per gallon. So as you'll notice throughout the rest of this video, the diesel power cars generally get higher MPGs than gas power cars. The diesel power vehicles are generally more efficient when it comes to running and burning fuel. The next car I will be talking about is the Ford Focus, which gets about 42 miles per gallon to 51 miles per gallon. And again, this is the Ford Focus 2023. This next car is a 2023 Citroen C3. And this car gets about 74 miles to the gallon to 78 miles to the gallon. So this car here is a 2023 Peugeot 208. And it gets about 74 miles to the gallon to 81 miles to the gallon. Now, there are two cars in this list that I discussed that you may not be able to get them in America. That's the Citroen and the Peugeot. You more than likely would not be able to get them here in America, but the Volkswagen Golf and the Ford Focus, you should be able to get them in America in diesel form. So as far as diesel vehicles go, diesel engines are more fuel efficient and have more low-end torque than similar sized gasoline engines, okay? And diesel fuel contains roughly about 10% to 15% more energy than gasoline, okay? So diesel vehicles can often go about 20% to 35% further on a gallon of fuel than their gasoline counterparts. Plus, today's diesel vehicles are much more improved over some of the diesel vehicles of the past, you know? So this next one I'll be talking about will be E85. So E85 gas is a high level of ethanol and gasoline in mixture, okay? It's very combustible. And it's 51% to 83% ethanol blended with gasoline, okay? Now, E85 has a higher octane than regular gasoline. This means that E85 is a lot better for your car's engine than regular gasoline. It also means that the fuel is less, the emissions from the fuel is less harmful, okay, for the environment. But on the downside, E85 burns faster and produces less energy than gasoline, so you don't get much oomph, okay? Whereas the gasoline, you'll get more oomph, more horsepower, more speed. The diesel, you get more speed, but even more torque. So if you had to pick out of the three, I would pick the diesel because the diesel burns more efficiently, okay? You'll get better fuel economy out of the diesel, and you'll get more torque, okay? So me personally, I'll go with the diesel out of all three of them. Also, before I forget, if you are going to put fuel in your car, please do not put E85 in your car unless it specifies to, or unless your vehicle is capable of using flex fuel or E85. If it doesn't have this symbol, do not put it in your car. Please don't be stupid. So I just want to take the time out to thank everybody out there who watches my videos. I just want to thank you guys for spending the time to watch my videos. You don't have to watch my videos, but you guys choose to, and I appreciate it. I also appreciate all the feedback that everybody gives me on the videos, and it's just much appreciated. So with that being said, thank you everybody. I see you when I see you guys. Peace. Love you guys all. Bye.